Welcome to AthleanX Training Camp, where it all starts. Right here, where many great athletes who started their journey. You're going to do the same thing. If you want to look like an athlete, you've got to train like an athlete, and it all starts here. 3 phases, each 1 month long, to transition your body from not only looking like an athlete, but functioning like one. I don't care if you never plan on stepping out on a field in competition, but if you want to start looking like those guys, you have to start following the same type of workouts, which is brief, intense, but we got to get the job done with unique exercises and train like I call functional training. Now, functional training is a buzzword that goes around these days. What is it? It's really about purpose. Doing exercises that integrate muscles the way that they have to work in life or in sports. We do that with AthleanX. We're going to kick it off right here with our upper body pushing workout as part of our push-pull performance phase that's going to take us to the next 4 weeks. We work our body, all the muscles that like to push together, we're going to train them together. We're going to start with just a quick warm-up. And what does the warm-up consist of? Just a 3 to 5 minute routine that would get your body going, right? Elevate that core temperature. So for some, it could be a jump rope. Or it could be exactly what I'm doing right here, which is a simulated jump rope, or jumping jacks, or a high knee run, okay? Shuffles if you want to get a little bit of lateral mobility. Whatever it is, 3 to 5 minutes, elevate that core temperature. Once you get a little bit of a sweat going, it's time to go, okay? 60-second rest in between each one of the sets. We're doing a straight set format here. Complete one exercise, move to the next. And then as far as the rep tempo, explosive on the way up, 1 to 2 seconds up, control on the way down. Don't ever just let the weights drop. Don't let the weights control you. You want to be in control of the weights. So we're going to kick it right off here with the first exercise, not a traditional push-up, but something unique right off the bat, a Spider-Man crawl. So we come back onto the ground, get in position. So now again, our regular push-up is just a pretty linear movement. But with AthleanX, we want to get you moving and start incorporating more muscle groups and joints into the same exercise. So we come up, we bring the hip with us, we stagger our hands, we take a slight step forward. We drop down. Okay, so the components that you have are this unequal or staggered stance of your hands, requires more stability from your core, of your shoulders, and then also some hip mobility and flexibility so that we actually open up that hip and then turn that around and get it to work with our upper body. So a lot of coordination between the two. So once we're here, then we take our next step up and we drop down there so the left hand becomes slightly forward and then the right. Okay, normally you're doing 10 crawls forward, 10 crawls backwards because you want to cover some ground. But maybe you don't have a lot of space. Maybe you have just a limited area to work in. That's right, because with AthleanX, there's no excuses either. So we come right here, get in position, we simply take it up, we drop down, step back, take it up, drop down, and step back. So we can stay in one location and still get the job done. Good, 3 sets of those. We move right into our next exercise, alternating dumbbell bench press. So we grab our dumbbells, come out onto the bench, and we're going to do them out of a neutral grip. Okay, straight up here overhead. Now the neutral grip determined by the position of your hands. If my hands are facing away, which would be towards the wall in that direction there, that would be a regular bench press grip. But we're going to turn our hands towards each other because this is going to allow us to incorporate more chest and triceps into the same pushing exercise. Again, training the muscles the way they prefer to train, which is working together. Now, you'll also notice we're going to do alternating. So as I come down, the other one stays up. You have pretty much a more challenging exercise here because this wants to pull me down to the right. If I were to exaggerate that movement, it wants to sort of twist me here. In order to stay here, centered, square, I have to engage the core on my left side to prevent that rotation. So again, right away, bench press turns into a core exercise at the same time. And finally, as far as depth on the bench press, you don't want to go any lower than 90-degree bend at the elbow or parallel to the rest of your body, because as you go lower and lower, you're just inviting problems at the shoulder joint that don't need to be there because the reward It's just not that much greater by going down those extra couple inches. Next, 3 sets of 12 of our rotational dumbbell shoulder press. So again, traditional shoulder press is just straight up, okay? There's not a lot of integration here between upper body and lower body. As a matter of fact, lots of people will do this exercise seated, locking themselves in and actually getting their shoulder blades resting up against the back pad. That's not about function. That's not how we work and function as an athlete. We want our shoulder blades to be able to work independently, but work also together with the rest of the arm to complete the motion. So now we're gonna do them standing, but we're gonna do them in a way that we integrate lower body with upper body. So we're gonna have a little bit of a drop, slight knee bend. As we come up, we pivot off the back side and rotate to press up overhead. Drop it straight down, rotate, and press. So now we've made it much more powerful because we have the help of the lower body to drive the weights up and over. Okay, rotational dumbbell shoulder press, 3 sets of 12. Into our next exercise, which are shoulder L raises. So we have options for dumbbell shoulder raises, right? Side laterals, front raises. Depends on what area of the delt you want to work. We tend to isolate them into separate exercises. But with Athlete X, we don't have to because we have our shoulder L raise. We're going to incorporate both front and side delt into the same exercise by simply lifting one up to the front, one to the side at the same time, dropping them down, and then reversing that direction and going right up to the front and the left out to the side. Okay, back and forth, 12 total reps. So 6 of them will be going to the front and 6 will be going to the side for each arm. Okay, and you'll see control of the weight on the way down. You don't ever see me just take them and drop them because half of the exercise is actually controlling it, not just getting it from point A to point B. We move on to the last muscle group here, triceps, which works again in coordination with the chest and shoulders to help the body push, complete that general movement, that functional movement of pushing. Tubing, wood chopper push downs. We're just gonna anchor the band up over a pull-up bar if you're at home, anything that you can secure it around. And again, instead of doing just a regular tricep push down, we can make this exercise much more athletic by incorporating lower body and then driving all that energy through the core. So we get up here, position ourselves as if we're getting ready to do a regular push down. And as we drive and push the ropes down, they're not gonna go straight in front of us. They're gonna go off to an angle, and I'm pivoting again off that backside hip. So I'm driving down, okay? Definitely more functional. It could look like a baseball swing if you want to think of it that way. But we work right and left, side to side. We don't just favor one side first and then come the other way because you want to train the body to, again, work the way it's supposed to work, which is side to side, even when you're walking or running, right side, left side, okay? So we come in here, we alternate 12 to each side for 4 total sets. Finally, one of the most overlooked areas and muscle groups in your body, the rotator cuff. Now, some of you have never even heard of the rotator cuff, or you think it's just one muscle. It's a group of muscles that work together to do the all-important external rotation of the shoulder. Now, all the muscles that you see, all the muscles that you're used to training, the chest, the lats, your shoulders, the front delts, they all rotate the shoulders this way. I know you probably have seen it. All you have to do is look in the mirror and turn sideways, and you'll probably see that you stand somewhat in this position here, this posture. You only have one opportunity to reverse that, and that is to start working the external rotators in the shoulder, and we're going to do it through our exercise rotator cuff tubing ER, or external rotation. You just take your tubing, you anchor it around, again, something sturdy, whatever that may be. If you want to put it a little bit higher because all you have is a pull-up bar, that's totally fine. Put one handle through the other, step out to the side, and right here, you're going to position your elbow at 90 degrees, okay? This is one of the only times when you'll find in Athlete X sort of an isolation of a muscle group, because every other time We're going to try to get it to work with the muscles that it prefers to work with. We start with it right across our chest. We open it right out to at least beyond neutral. So neutral point would be right here in front of me, a little bit out to the side if you have that ability. But you don't want to get it out there by raising your elbow away from your body, because now you've basically shut down the rotator cuff and you just turn this into a side lateral raise again for your side delt. So keep it inside, rotate it out, in, rotate it out. Always have the control. Okay, 3 sets of 15 on each arm. You'll probably notice that that exercise has you burning more than the others. That again is because you're talking about working an overlooked muscle group. We're not going to overlook anything here. We've got 12 weeks to get it right. We've got 12 weeks to get you in the best shape of your life. This is Athlean X. This is training camp. Strap it on, guys. It's time to lay it all out there. Give it all you got. Become the best you can be. If you want to look like an athlete, you've got to train like an athlete.